Oh wow. Okay. So I made the part two to the don't mind me, I'm at home on the couch right now. I couldn't go to sleep, so um I'm just continuing the video that I made the other day. I'm just gonna finish it. So I wasn't really expecting anybody to hop on this. It's like 5 o'clock in the what time is it? It's it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't really expect anybody to hop on this at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I just wanted to continue, make the part two to the video that I was talking about the other day. So back to my friend. So she started at Rail, and through some mistakes of her own doing and some errors at the company, it just did not work out. And I can't really blame her. She did some things that I don't really advise doing. But on top of that, Rail wasn't doing things and holding up on their end as they should have. So she ended up leaving there. And then after that, she jumped over to Schneider. She's at Schneider for a while, did really well, and then went to a local home daily job. Uh, then after that, she went to um, Halver, been there not that long, and then she is about to start over at Decker. And I just asked her the other day, and I asked her about this. She said she was starting at Decker, and I was like, oh, okay, that's. I'm like, oh, all right. And then she's like, well, what's wrong with Halver? She was like, weren't paying me enough. And I was like, it's not the pay not high enough, or is it the miles? She's like, the pay's not high enough. But she was all super, excited about going over to Halver when she first went over there. Um, I cautioned her against going to the local job when she first went there. And, I asked her about Decker. And so she was like, I'm going over to Decker. And I was like, okay. And then, just kind of inquiring. And she was like, why can't you just be happy for me? I said, oh, I am happy for you. I am. I'm just, asking questions. And, that kind of goes into the whole dual topic that I wanted to talk about. If you can reference back to the part one of this video. So I noticed there was a high level, she has a high level of jumping from company to company. Now, with that being said, I'm going to address both things I want to talk about. So, one issue is the person asked the question, how did I feel about my first company, pros and cons, how do I feel about my current company, pros and cons, how do I feel about being a truck driver, pros and cons. What I've noticed is I've had a high level of job satisfaction from both companies. I have a mixture of two things that's helped me, in my opinion. One, I take the bad for the bad and the good for the good, and I try to find a silver lining in everything, and that's kind of one way about me. I try to make it work. And two, and this applied heavily for my decision to go to ATS. Jesus Christ, I have this ridiculous pimple that came out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. Um, but two, doing thorough research on a company before you go there. And um, that's imperative. That is super, super, super imperative to do thorough research on the company because it'll help you make a very informed, educated decision. It'll help you have if done properly and everything works out, it should help you have longevity at that company that you've done research on and you decided to go to. And because you ask them all the questions, like I was alluding to in the last video, you ask them all the questions that you've been that are pertinent to you. Um, Everybody loves to ask, what's the pay? What's the miles? What's this? What's that? But you need to ask questions that are tailored specifically. Jesus Christ, this thing's in my nose. Ask questions that are tailored specifically for your life. Questions that might work that I would have to ask a recruiter might be different than questions that John Doe over there asks his recruiter, and Jane Doe might ask questions that are different from both of us. Um, because what I might be looking to get out of the company might be different than what they're looking to get out of the company, and all of what we're looking to get out of this company might be different. That company might meet my needs, and that company might not meet their needs, or that company might meet 75% of what I feel I need, and versus for them, it's only meeting 25%. Um, so that's why thorough research is important. And with that, you'll have longevity at the company because you have you should have a relatively good idea of what you're getting into going over to whatever company. And in turn, that will help with job satisfaction. You'll be happy there because you're somewhere that offers what you're looking for. Even if you found your dream company, there's still going to be shitty days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days that it's just not working out the way you wanted to. And that's fine. That's in any job. But you should have majority good days. And then even when you have bad days or low mileage weeks or low pay weeks or whatever, there's still something to compensate for it because that's not all the time. Not every company is going to pay you ridiculously high every single week, um, or high for whatever that company pays. It's just not going to happen every single week. It's just part of trucking. It is what it is. Um, so you'll have longevity, thus decreasing the amount of times you're job hopping. And this is how it goes hand in hand with the next portion of what I want to talk about. So there are companies out there that when you apply to them, and they might pay well and have good benefits, there's a reason that you'd want to get these kind of jobs. If you look on the prerequisites for trying to get hired on, they might say you could not have driven for more than three companies in a 2 year span, or more than uh, five companies in a 4 or 5 year span. They want to see that you're able to show job stability and consistency. Now, this is where it comes into play where job hopping is bad. You know, there are going to be companies out there that you might want to get on with later on, and they're just like, well, we can't take you because you job hump too much. You might be an outstanding driver, you're safe, you do 2 3 below the speed limit at all times, you maintain 7 8 9 15 seconds of following distance. You might be God's gift to the trucking industry as far as safety and job performance goes. But you job hop too much, so they're not even going to be willing to give you the chance to allow you to use your skills and talents at that company simply because you job hop way too much. So that's why it's imperative to not job hop, and you can avoid job hopping by having done research on a company, and thus increases your chances of having longevity at those companies because you're satisfied because you went to a company that met your needs and didn't just sound good on paper or a Facebook ad. It actually met the needs that you have. ATS meets my needs. Rail met my needs. Rail wasn't the company I was trying to start with, but it's the company I went to, and I made it work for me. I learned how Rail does things. I learned the Rail machine, and I made it work. Um, Listen to the people that try to mentor you, try to help you out. You know, you want to have that, and especially the ones that have gone and achieved what you're trying to achieve. Listen to them. So this is the part two that I was promising you guys. Um, I'm going to work on another video in a second, try to upload that uh, back to back, like right after this one. Um, it comes from something else that I just saw not too long ago. But all right, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, I wasn't expecting anybody to come in and watch this live. I just hopefully you guys will click on this and watch the part 2 because it's imperative, and hopefully you'll see how these 2 topics, they go hand in hand.